Hi everyone, Hannah here. So we are going to get started on our envelope folder for our April swap. As stated, this was a project that Ann had sent me. I guess it's been over a year ago for sure. But you'll need two 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper, and then a number 10 envelope. And I think it's about 9 inches long. So the first thing we're going to do is take it and cut it at 8.5 inches. And then you're going to stick a piece of paper inside the envelope. And then we're going to turn it over and cut it at the end of the flap. That way there's no excess cardstock sticking out beyond the envelope flap. And it took me a little bit to kind of figure this one out. It's kind of a lot of going back and forth and turning over, and I was getting kind of confused. So on one side is where you're going to have your cardstock, and on your other side the music sheet. So our other piece of cardstock, we're going to score it at 2.5 inches. So, and again, it's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, both of them are, and we're going to score this one at 2.5 inches and fold it over. And after we fold it over, then we're going to either sew a snippet roll down the side, or a piece of lace, however you want to do it. So I kind of put mine together, and I sewed my snippet roll first, and then I sewed it onto the pocket. And I really like how it turned out too. So on the other side, where we're going to have our sheet of music on there, we're going to go ahead and sew that, or you can glue it, whichever way. I just like to sew it. It's easier to deal with, and once you sew it, it's stuck on there. And now we're going to glue our music sheet to the envelope there. Sometimes this little flap thing gets in the way. I like this glue, but that little flap part gets in the way a lot. So I have to just grab it and so it don't, bounce all over the place. And then I just like to press it down. So on April 15th is when we are going to assign partners, but you can go ahead and sign up now. So now we're going to flip it over, and we did sew down the side, so that part is attached. So what I'm trying to do, and I know it's kind of hard to see on the video, but I'm just squirting some glue on the inside of the cardstock and envelope to glue everything together. And so we got that part glued. Now I'm just going to glue the flaps down of our sheet music here so that we don't have any pieces flopping around. So what you want to do on this piece, we scored it at 2.5 inches and folded it down. So where that piece ends at, like the folded piece, we're going to match it up to where you can see on the envelope where it has a crease, where the flap would fold down when you're putting your mail in the envelope. And that's where we're going to add glue at. So that's where I'm putting the glue, is where that flap line is you know, between the envelope pocket part and the flap of the envelope, because we're fixing to fold that. And then I'm just adding a little glue on the top and the bottom, you know, to glue that part together, but not the inside, because that's the pocket part where we can stuff things inside of it. And so I'm just kind of lining it up and, you know, gluing it down. And then what we're going to do is actually cut, you know, where our other side of the cardstock ends so that they match up. And then what I'm going to do is score down the fold line. You know, that same crease, you know, where the envelope flap, the end of that is. You know, you've got your envelope part and then the flap. So that's where the score line is. And I'm doing that on both sides to make it easier to fold without the paper. You know, sometimes, especially with thick paper, you know, when you bend it, it can, you know, kind of rip the paper a little bit. So, you know, I'm just being very careful with it because I don't want that to happen. So now I'm going to take a piece of lace for the other side here, and I'm just going to take it to the sewing machine and stitch it. And then I'm just going to cut off the excess lace there. And then with this pocket part, we're going to trim that up just to kind of get that piece out of the way. So what I thought would be a neat idea is to take some of this sewing pattern and actually glue it on our flap here for our pocket, because I just wanted to cover it up a little bit. I didn't want to leave it plain. And so I thought that it would look really neat doing this. So I'm just spreading it down. And then I'm just going to take and just kind of tear it along the edges. And I'm just tearing it along the inside of the pocket as well. And then I'm taking a piece of cardstock. We're going to make just a little pocket if you want to make an extra pocket here. And I'm just making it however deep I want it. I think maybe it's inch and a half. And then I'm just distressing it, the edge of it with my scissors, just kind of roughing it up a little bit. And, you know, the width will be you know, whatever it is right here before the crease where it closes. And so I'm just kind of gluing that down. But if you want to go ahead and sign up for the swap, you can. You can comment on this video. You can vote yes on the poll in our Facebook group. And I'll also be putting, you know, in a post on Instagram and other places if you want to sign up there. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to let me know. Thanks so much for watching.